My dear friends, the gospel text is from Mark chapter 7, from verse 31 to 37. And it recounts the healing of the deaf man. The theme is Ephphatha, which means to be opened. It is my aim to explain this text and tease out some lessons. Can we imagine how uncomfortable it is for a person to be deaf? It is true that a deaf person may have the other senses activated, but the fact still remains that it is still a big challenge when one is deaf. This person in the gospel story is not only deaf, but also has a speech impediment. The image we gather of this person is one who, because of his condition, is unable to hear what goes on around his surroundings, and is also unable to say what goes on within him. He is therefore a lonely man, and alone, they say, is misery. Life definitely may have been very stressful for him. And from the gospel reading, we gather that he's also a Gentile. When Jesus entered the town of Sidon, the passage says the people brought him this deaf man and pleaded with him to heal him. The gesture of the people is amazing. These are people who are Gentiles, but had faith in the ability of Jesus to heal him. These are people who stood in the gap for the deaf man. My dear friends, like these people in the town of Sidon, it's important that we all begin to extend a hand of support to people who may be challenged in one way or another. We all must be very sympathetic to the plight of the vulnerable in society, and each time fight for their welfare. We must not preoccupy ourselves only with our needs. The needs of others must also be our concern. The beauty of the society or the beauty of the family is seen when those privileged are conscious of the needs of the less privileged and look out for ways to help or make life better for them. Another amazing thing from the text is the way Jesus immediately responded to the request. The truth is that Jesus welcomes any gesture which is inspired by love. When we take noble steps like this, Jesus perfects them. The passage says, Jesus led the man away from the crowd and put his fingers into the man's ears, and then spitting on his own fingers, he touched the man's tongue. He then looked up to heaven and sighed, and then said, Ephphatha, which means be opened. The immediacy of the response of Jesus to the request of the people is very clear. Then, thinking about the details of steps taken by Jesus, some may wonder why the ritual of using saliva. This is to stress the medicinal value of saliva in ancient times. And then the action of Jesus looking up to heaven and sighing is a gesture of prayer. My dear friends, combining both gestures, the point that is made is that medicine and prayer are necessary for healing. We must therefore appreciate the use of both for wholeness. Jesus, my dear friends, is very much interested in our welfare. When we come to him with our deformities, he heals us. The deaf man was healed, and as a result was now able to hear the good news, and was also able to now speak about the good news. The text ended on the note that though Jesus told the people not to tell anyone, the more he warned them, the more they also spread the news. What we gather is that the deaf man, probably and rightly so, was overjoyed and then went public with the good news. What is therefore the conclusion? It is important that, my dear friends, we step in the gap for others who are in need. And in our quest for healing, the marriage between medicine and prayer is highlighted. It is my prayer, therefore, that Jesus' word, Ephphatha, which means be opened, should once again resound in our ears and open our ears to the good news. The good news about the corporal works of mercy. The good news about love and forgiveness. The good news about peace. And may these messages be on our lips each day. Ephphatha, be opened. God bless you.